asked by a few people this week, who are renters, whether or not now is a good time to buy a home. The truth is that each hopeful buyer needs to decide, based on their current and unique situation, whether it makes the most sense for them to buy right now versus rent. Now everyone lives somewhere. We either rent, own, we're homeless, or we live with somebody we know, typically our family. As of this past July in the US, more than 26.6 million young adults, which is more than half of all young adults, were living with their parents. This makes sense since a Pew Research Center in June released data showing that young adult workers were the most severely impacted working demographic, having experienced a 25% loss in employment. And in 2019, there were over 500,000 people in the US who were homeless. What's left are renters and homeowners, or people who are over 29 and still living with their parents. Now, there are an estimated 141 million total housing units in the US, and about 2/3 of them are owner-occupied, which is the highest since 2008. That leaves a little under 50 million rental units, and vacancy rates have dropped by nearly half since their 2009 highs. With less vacancies and fewer options, renters are faced with climbing rental prices that may be comparable to a home mortgage. So what are some reasons somebody might decide to purchase a home? First, from the perspective of a renter. As I mentioned, rental vacancy rates have been falling for over a decade. However, they've floated between 5 and 11% since at least the 1950s. Real estate is a very local industry, and prices for rentals or purchases can vary widely within a certain county or even within a certain zip code. When speaking nationally, apartment prices have more than doubled since 2010. Additionally, although almost all construction starts since 2010 were multifamily projects that were intended for renting, rent has climbed at a rate at over 4 times that of inflation since 2012. Separate from multifamily, billions of dollars from both well-known banks as well as venture capitalists have gone towards build-to-rent for single-family homes over the last few years. Falling vacancy rates while homeownership rates are simultaneously climbing are telling of our housing supply shortage. There's plenty to consider when buying a home, including your lifestyle choices, personal financial situation, as well as how long you intend to stay in the residence. But here are some other things to consider. First, housing cost stability. Purchasing a home to live in helps stabilize your housing costs. Most real estate purchase loans are amortizing, which also means that your payment stays fixed for the life of the loan. They gradually become more satisfactory to the principal, which is what you initially borrowed to buy the home, and less of the interest, which is what you paid to borrow the principal. These two components, along with taxes and insurance, are included in that fixed payment. Here in Florida, we have what's called the Save Our Homes benefit, as part of our homestead's tax exemption. These are tax benefits that help stabilize the cost of your housing. Keep in mind that real estate taxes are based on the assessed value of your home, which likely changes year to year. There are also various other ways homeowners can take control over their monthly expenses, such as upgrading features and appliances for more energy-efficient alternatives, and expecting the cost of these investments to pay off over time. Then there's building equity. Having stability in your monthly housing costs helps with budgeting, financial planning, and being prepared for life's unexpected glitches. In Florida, when you secure a loan to purchase a home, the home serves as collateral for the loan, with the borrower holding the title to the property and the lender holding a mortgage lien over it. A borrower failing to meet the responsibilities agreed to between them and the lender may lead to the lender moving towards a judicial process in response. This is obviously undesirable to the homeowner, and so paying off their mortgage functions as a forced saving. At the end of their loan, the homeowner will have accumulated equity equal to at least the value of their home. Then there's utilization. Typically, renters are restricted from modifying their residence. Tearing up landscaping to start a garden, knocking down a wall to open up a room, or even mounting a TV or other decor may not be acceptable to a landlord. While you may be able to meet these challenges with certain creative solutions, renters are typically at the mercy of the landlords, who are people too. Also, many residential leases include provisions which allow the landlord or homeowner to enter the property with very short notice. And this brings up another important aspect of homeownership: privacy. Safety and security are basic needs, second only to our physiological needs, such as food, rest, and water. Being free from unwanted disturbances is important for the safety and security of you and your family. Owning your home gives you options to improve your situation towards that. The decision for a renter to purchase a home involves a lot more than what I've just covered. Things like property price appreciation, developing relationships within your community, or even the pride in being a homeowner are all involved. Regardless of when that decision is made, home buying education is vital for a positive experience. If you have any questions about whatever I covered so far, or anything I didn't cover, please feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to answer. I'll speak briefly about home buying for current homeowners. Congratulations on making that journey at least once. That means you likely have a personal understanding of the costs and commitments of owning a home. Those obligations don't stop 7.4 million people in the US from owning a second home, and Florida is the #1 state for it. But is this the right choice for you? Take into consideration the financial burden of having a second property maintained, pay taxes for, and perhaps income taxes if you decide to rent it out. Additionally, there might be some unfamiliar laws to consider. Calculate your budget and become informed of any potential legal challenges, then decide if owning a second home is right for you. If it is, the cost to borrow money has never been recorded as cheaper, at least not by Freddie Mac, and they've been conducting mortgage surveys for over 50 years. Lower rates has greatly improved the purchasing power of the buying pool, and that has been a tailwind for home prices. Home price appreciation has sharply accelerated since May of this year. However, there are undervalued and overvalued properties in every market. Trends in real estate tend to be slow moving, even in bad times. For that reason, and many others, real estate has been popular in diversified portfolios, either in physical form or through REITs or real estate investment trusts. This year, despite it all, millions of people in the US have agreed with that popularity and decided to own the home they live in, undoubtedly encouraged by the extremely attractive cost of capital. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please feel free to share it with anybody who you think would appreciate it. If you have any questions about where I left things off, know that I'm right there with you. Real estate markets are dynamic, and buying or selling anything requires a lot of consideration. Keeping track of all the happenings is more than a full-time job, so definitely discuss your ideas and your plans with somebody in the profession. I'd be happy to talk. I hope this helps. Take care and be well.